Hey, everybody, it's Wednesday morning at 11 o'clock Central Time, and I am Dr. John Sherk, and that makes this Brown Bag Lunch, where I bring you whatever I can bring you in quick, tight 8 minutes to enhance your life if you are an air conditioning technician, or to assist you if you love or manage a technician and you want to support them. So today, I want to talk a little bit about self-awareness and questions you should ask yourself, 5 of them if you're a technician, that just will drive you toward living a better life, uh, both sort of on a day-to-day level, but on a sort of a direction of your life level also. Um, Sometimes we get so busy doing, we don't take time to reflect on ourselves. And I'm gonna probably press this point more in coming months because, to be frank, I'm a little tired of having people who are not technicians in different ways tell me that technicians are they're just too simple for this kind of thing. They don't really want to, look ahead in their life. They don't really want to, um, plan for next year. They don't want to. It's like, we just want to go out. We just want to do the work. Get me to Friday. Give me a 6 pack, and I'm all good. I really think that's not accurate. It's probably true for some technicians, but I don't think that's true for a majority of them. This career is changing. It's evolving, and it's evolving fast, and it's quickly leaving the zone of the just get me to Friday, good old boy kind of person, and into a much more reflective, career minded, um, wanting to grow, wanting to advance career role. Okay. So, with that in mind, I'm just going to say we become better when we learn to coach ourselves, and how much better we get and how much satisfaction we get out of it really is determined by how much you're willing to grow. Okay. So, these are growth kinds of questions. So, question number one, how can I add more joy to what I'm doing? Now, this question sounds like as soft as possible, but it's not. Positive emotion expands your ability to deal with adversity and stress. Ignoring joy makes you tired, not tough. And so you're automatically more resilient and you have more energy when you have more positive energy. So, how can I add more joy to what I'm doing? What can I do to cut off the joy killers? How can I create more joy? My podcast, HVAC Joy Lab, the whole purpose of that podcast is to solve this problem or contribute to solving it for technicians. How can I add more joy to what I'm doing? Number two, how do I want to show up? And by that, I mean, when you get to the front door of a customer's house, when I roll in for a safety meeting at the office, when um, do I show up and whatever comes out, or am I observing how I show up and trying to um, address that, improve that? Should you be showing up with more compassion, more gratitude, more encouragement? Again, this question allows you to be resilient and intentional instead of blown and tossed by whatever's going on that day. Part of the reality for most technicians is a lot about your day is dictated to you. And so this is a muscle you should work on purpose, right? You get calls, you have to, kind of like a fireman, sometimes you have to respond, and that can take choice out of your hands. And this part of it, this is where you put the choice back in. How do I want to show up? Right. Question number three, how am I meant to serve today? This is a stance toward the people around you. How am I meant to serve today? Leadership requires us to step up and do things that are often uncomfortable, often make us nervous. But if your focus is on how you're meant to serve, it makes that nervousness go away. If I'm here to help you, I need you to tell me what your problem is, and then I'm going to go to work solving it. And I'm not really even selling anything at that point. People who are great at selling understand problems and how to solve them with what they're selling. They're not just trying to slickly get you to sign something. That's really kind of something else. Great salespeople ask questions, understand problems, understand solutions, help the customer pick one. Okay. So, how am I meant to serve today? Number four, this is maybe the hardest one on the list. What do I want? Now, this one is the broadest question by far. It's also the hardest to answer. It sounds like it's the easiest one. And I'm not, when I say, what do I want? I don't mean I want a sandwich. I'm hungry. I mean, on a broader level, what is the vision for your life that you have? Where do you want to go with it? And I want to just talk, just kind of as an aside for a minute. I really want to promote for technicians generally having a vision for continuing to be a completely kick-ass field technician, like a rock star technician. There's a narrative that goes in the minds of a lot of technicians that goes like this. I'm going to spend time in the field, but then I want to find out how to get into the office. And it's a combination of getting out of the heat. My body is going to wear out. I think that's where I can make more money. It's not, but I think it's where I can make more money. And the problem is there's an unlimited supply of opportunity as a frontline technician. It's a much more limited supply of opportunity if you want to become a service manager or go into the building, unless you want to kind of reduce pay a little bit and become a dispatcher or work the warehouse with parts or something like that. That's fine. Again, it's what do you want? It's what do you want? But what I want to encourage you to do is push back on that narrative that says you're not advancing if you don't get into the office. It's okay. And in fact, because of what's happening right now with technician wages, not only is it okay, in many ways, it's a better opportunity to stay in the field and become a complete technical customer service rock star. Those guys are beginning to emerge as higher paid than service managers, right? Now, again, I have clients, I work with this stuff behind closed doors. It is becoming more and more common for the best technicians in the company in the field to make more money than a service manager. And you need to know that. So please don't, if money is the issue, please don't think that's the landing zone for the money. Now, if you say, well, I'd love to want that, but man, my body isn't going to last. Well, then let's take the steps now. You know, we have coming up in a week or two here, we have an entire podcast coming out just on air conditioning technicians and their knees, right? Watch the podcast. I'm doing more and more work with Adam Kuhlman, who's a physical trainer that works a lot with technicians on what do you need to do to make your body last longer. You know, don't wait to start wearing, those kind of hard knee pads. Don't wait until your knees hurt to start using them. Use them now so your knees don't start to hurt. Okay. Think long-term about the care of your body. Now, if you say that's not what I want, the trump card for all of this is you being able to say, I know what I want. And if what you want is to be a service manager, be a service manager, but understand why you want to be a service manager. Is it just the status and the scarcity of the role? If it's money, there's actually a track to making much more money as a field technician. If it is physical and your body, let's start taking care of your body so you don't need it for that purpose. If it is just the raw status of being a service manager, I can tell you more and more, you're going to see this more and more and more. The rock stars at a given company are not those guys. They're the guys who are in the field and can get it done, fix hard problems that no one else knows how to solve. Okay. But still, at the end of the day, what do you want? What is the vision for your life and your career as a technician? And then lastly, what I'm up against right now, is it meaningful or is it false urgency? The meaningful things are the things you'll be glad you did months or years from now. Okay. If you're dealing with something and it's hard, ask yourself, will I be glad I handled this years from now? Or is this just a bluster right now and it won't really matter in a couple of years? So I need to lay it aside and forget about it. Okay. There's your 5 questions. How can I add more joy to what I'm doing? How do I want to show up? How am I meant to serve today? What do I want? And is this meaningful or is it false urgency? Okay, there you go. There's your nugget for the week. Again, I'm Dr. John Sherk. We've rolled out season 2 of HVAC Joy Lab. Out there right now is an interview with Brett Wetzel from the Advanced Refrigeration Podcast. Super interesting conversation. We got more coming. I just recorded one yesterday with Greg McAfee, who has a great company up in Ohio and has written books and has his own podcast. So we got great stuff coming out this season. Be sure and check out HVAC Joy Lab. New episodes every Sunday. And after that, we will see you next time.